Hi friends, please subscribe and like my channel.
After 18 years of marriage, my wife was unfaithful and left me. My stepdaughter labeled me a coward for not battling to preserve our family. I filed for divorce and surrendered my parental rights. 3 months later, they reached out, wanting to reconnect, but I had already moved forward. I'm a 46-year-old man who was married for 18 years. 18 years of unwavering commitment. My wife, Laura, 44, brought her 3-year-old daughter, Mia, into our relationship. I embraced them both, heart and soul. I raised Mia as my own, from reading bedtime stories to rushing her to the hospital during emergencies, to cheering at her dance recitals, where she'd nervously twirl and glance at me for reassurance. I was her father in every way except blood. Laura and I had our share of struggles like any couple, but I never thought she'd betray me. I believed we were unbreakable. I worked tirelessly, running a modest but steady plumbing business. I wasn't wealthy, but I ensured they lacked for nothing. Every milestone, every family trip, even during tough times, they were my priority. In hindsight, I overlooked the warning signs. Laura started hitting the gym more, having frequent girls' nights, and guarding her phone like it held state secrets. I asked her once, just once, if something was wrong. She called me paranoid, suggested I see a therapist for my insecurities, so I dropped it until I couldn't. 6 months before everything collapsed, I found a receipt in her purse for a hotel downtown, dated the same day as one of her supposed retreats. I wasn't naive. I didn't confront her immediately. I played it cool, collecting evidence, texts on her fitness tracker, suspicious meetings with a colleague named Mark, and the final blow, a photo in her private email, left open on our shared tablet. It was her, in bed with him, grinning like she was young and carefree. I faced her that night. She didn't bother denying it. Instead, she seemed relieved. She said she'd felt adrift for years and didn't know how to tell me. Then came the cliché. Mark makes me feel alive again. I didn't yell or break anything. I stood there, hollow. When I told Mia, now 21 and home from college, she lashed out at me. "You're just letting Mom walk away? You're not even trying to save our family? You're spineless." Those words cut deeper than the infidelity. All I ever wanted was to give Mia a better life than I'd had. I'd been there for her first day of school, taught her to ride a bike, comforted her through her first heartbreak, and now I was just the weakling who let her mom go. So I stopped fighting. Within a week, I filed for divorce, gave Laura the house, the car, and half our savings. I wanted it over, done. Then I made the hardest choice of my life. I gave up my parental rights to Mia, not out of anger, but because she no longer saw me as her dad. I wasn't going to beg for a role she'd discarded. I relocated 3 hours away to a quiet town where no one knew me, bought a rundown house, and spent months fixing it up myself. Wiring, flooring, gardening. It became my healing process. I also picked up woodworking, something I'd always wanted to try but never had time for. I made new friends, even dated lightly. No pressure, just calm. For the first time in years, I was building a life for myself. 3 months after the divorce was finalized, I got a text. First from Mia. "Hey, I overreacted. I didn't mean what I said. Can we talk?" Then Laura. "I know you probably despise me, but I'd like to have a conversation." Mark and I split. Of course they did. Mark was married, and apparently he went back to his wife. His alive again phase had a shelf life. I ignored both at first. Then Mia sent an email with a photo from her graduation, the one I wasn't invited to. She was in tears. "I miss my dad," she wrote. "It tore me apart, but something inside me had shifted, maybe broken, maybe mended." I replied, "I loved you like my own, always. But the man you miss was buried the day you called him spineless. I hope you find happiness. But I've moved on." I never responded to Laura. The story had written its own ending. A friend later told me Laura had to sell the house. Her new boyfriend left, and she couldn't afford the mortgage. Mia moved in briefly, but then took a job across the country. They're barely speaking now from what I hear. Meanwhile, I'm still in my small town. I teach a woodworking class weekly and take long walks with my dog, Baxter. People ask if I regret not fighting for my marriage. No, I fought for 18 years. I gave everything: love, time, fatherhood. When it all fell apart, I didn't cause a scene. I walked away with my pride. Because sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is leave the war behind. A month after I closed the door on Mia and ignored Laura's message, I thought that was the end. I was free, or so I believed. Then came the envelope. Heavy. Certified. From Laura's lawyer. I assumed it was a loose end from the divorce. Wrong. She was suing for spousal support. To clarify, in the divorce, I willingly gave her the house, the car, and half our savings. She never mentioned alimony. Said she wanted to keep things clean. Now, months after everything was settled, she was demanding monthly payments, claiming she couldn't maintain her lifestyle. Her lifestyle meant losing the man she cheated with, squandering her savings, and quitting her job for a new chapter with Mark. Her filing claimed she'd relied on my financial and emotional support for years, and that I'd abandoned my marital duties too soon. Too soon? After 18 years, I laughed, then got mad. But I stayed calm. I hired a sharp, no-frills attorney named Diane, who reviewed the documents and smirked. "She thinks a judge will buy this?" she said. "Let's show them she left you, not the other way around." We gathered every piece of evidence: receipts, messages, hotel records, and proof of her affair with Mark, which started nearly a year before the split. Diane built a case showing Laura as the one who dismantled our marriage, not a victim of abandonment. At the hearing, Laura appeared in a plain suit, hair pinned back, face caked with makeup. She played the part of a broken woman, but her eyes betrayed her. She was acting, not feeling. I barely knew the woman I'd once loved. Her lawyer spun a dramatic tale. Mrs. Thompson left the marriage under emotional strain after years of neglect. She sacrificed her career for her husband's dreams and was discarded when he no longer needed her. When our turn came, Diane stood and methodically unraveled the lies. "Let's discuss the emotional strain that happened in a hotel with her colleague while still married. Let's discuss the documented nights out while our client stayed home, caring for her daughter and the household. Let's discuss the generous asset split she agreed to." Then came the final strike. Diane presented Mia's message, where she called me spineless for not fighting for the family, as evidence. Even the daughter she claims he abandoned acknowledges her mother left willingly, and Mr. Thompson respected their choice. The judge took it all in, saying he'd need time to decide. Laura shot me a look as she left, muttering, "You're still cold." I didn't reply. There was no point arguing with someone who thought love meant surrender. 2 weeks later, the ruling came. Spousal support denied. The court found Laura wasn't entitled to more money. She'd ended the marriage and received a fair settlement, which she'd mismanaged. The judge warned that further attempts to revisit settled matters without new evidence would be considered harassment. That sealed it. Mia texted me 2 days later, her tone different. "I didn't know she was suing you. I swear she didn't tell me. I believed her, but it didn't change anything. Too much had happened. I felt no anger or need for revenge, just detachment." I wrote back, "You'll always be part of my past, but that chapter's closed. I wish you the best." She didn't reply. Laura took to social media, posting vague quotes about betrayal, deadbeat men, and surviving emotional abuse. I didn't engage or defend myself. Let her stew in her self-made narrative. Now, 2 years later, I'm still in my small town, teaching woodworking and hiking with Baxter. I've met someone, not serious yet, but genuine. She knows my story and respects my quiet strength. Laura, I've heard, moved in with a relative after losing the house. She works part-time and keeps trying to get Mia to return, but their relationship is fractured. As for me, I have no regrets. Not the silence, not the departure, not even the legal fight. Some people don't want reconciliation. They want to worm back into your life to ruin it again. I've rebuilt mine from the ground up, with peace, with pride, without them. Thank you for watching Story. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more real-life stories.